Live.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to catching up with the coaches. Thanks for everyone taking their time to meet up with our coaching staff. We'll be part of the Dock Spiders this year. Again, I'm Ryan Mead, Vice President of the Dock Spiders, and joined by our field manager, Chuck Thielman, our Director of Player Personnel, Zach Charbonneau, and then our pitching coach, Ryan Gaynor, as well. So thanks, guys, for jumping on here today. I guess we have some people that are live on here too, so we'll be having, if you guys are on here, jump in the chat, ask questions, throw them in the chat feature. We'll be able to ask those as we got time here over the next 45 minutes or so, and we'll kind of grill these guys with some questions on the guys in the upcoming season here. So I guess just to start off, I just kind of want to get your guys' general thoughts and again, maybe just introductions from each one of you on just I know I love Zach, being around for a while, but Chuck coming back to us after a number of years away. Just what you've been up to and your excitement level for this upcoming summer.
No, yeah, and thanks for having me on. I'm glad that I was able to hop on and get to know you guys and get to see you a little bit more too. But I haven't been too busy. I've been staying at Stevens, where I've been at for the last few years. I started up year 4 there this past season. Been busy with our season this year. We're off to a 10-4 start, so I'm excited about that. But I think looking forward to getting out to Fondy. But I've just been busy with baseball, and that's what I'm looking forward to being busy with in the future coming up this summer. So,
gotcha. Zach, I guess going back to you, going from manager now to kind of director of player personnel, how has that been here over the last number of months? How's it been the transition working with Chuck? How's everything been going this off season?
It's been great so far. Chuck's a real tough guy to work with, so love the big guy, and it's been great. It's nice to have someone to bounce off ideas with, and just trying to figure out what we can do to continue to put a winning product on the field. So just kind of that new role. It's I know I'm already thinking about missing the dugout. Kind of I'm at that point, but it's going to be a great summer. I'm excited for Chuck to take over.
And Ryan, I guess going off last year, first year in Fondy, I guess maybe how did everything go last year when you were in Fond du Lac, and just what are you thinking for excitement for coming back for year 2?
Yeah, I mean, we won the championship, so I don't think it's tough to top that in year 1. But I've been talking with Zach and Chuck a little bit, and we got a solid roster coming up, and I'm excited about being back for year number 2. I've been keeping busy with our season out here, keeping an eye on the guys that are coming to Fondy this year, and I think we're gonna have a solid crew. And the more experience I'm gaining out here is just everything I can bring to Fondy and help the guys win in Fondy, and hopefully we could do it again in my second year.
Yeah, for sure. I guess kind of going off what you said, Ryan, maybe back to Chuck, just a quick question. I know you guys are all busy of your own seasons you guys are doing right now, and for college ball, how much are you guys able to keep track of, your eyes on the guys that are coming to Fond du Lac this summer? Are you able to keep up with their stats, some video, or how closely are you able to stay up on the guys that'll be coming, or is it, I guess just from a weekly or monthly standpoint, how do you know how they're all faring so far?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I anytime that I have a chance to get on and check the box scores or maybe see a highlight video on Twitter. I mean, Charb usually sends me a good video or two during the week from Twitter. But I think that's exciting stuff. You know what I mean? You get to see that stuff, not only just you personally checking the box score, but seeing that social media presence of some of the guys that they're doing a really good job. I mean, I know Aaron Anderson, will probably get on him a little bit later, but he's batting the cool like 356 or something like that right now. So, I mean, we have a lot of guys that I think are seeing some valuable time, and guys that are maybe finding those role player situations right now. They're doing a really good job and thriving in those roles too. So it's exciting to see. I think we got a good mix of sort of experience and some young talent coming in. So it's exciting. So it's been easy to follow along without a doubt.
Zach, I guess same thing for you, maybe.
Oh yeah, just the other day, we had a tough loss here in Milwaukee, and feeling a little down, but it was okay. Jumped right on Twitter on the bus there, and found out Aaron Anderson was Conference Player of the Week, and John Rhodes this, Victor Scott that, all those guys. So whether it's former guys or guys we're going to look forward to seeing this summer, it's a nice little pick me up. So it's great to follow those players' careers, coming to us or leaving us.
Ryan, how about you?
Yeah, I check up on video on some of the guys, and I'll definitely stat check some of them. The guys who are returning that were with us last year, I keep up a lot on and see how they're progressing, and those guys have a chance to be some dudes for us this year, and I'm taking a peek at the new guys who are coming, and there's a lot of good talent that's going to come in our way. So I keep up with former guys. I keep up with the guys who are going to be coming back, and checking out a little of the guys who will be coming here that I'm excited to get to meet and work with.
Yeah, I know Chuck jumped the gun on my Aaron Anderson question, but I mean, I know I've seen on Twitter, Bull and Aaron going back and forth that Aaron's trying to take him over for most years here in Fondy. But I mean, the way the guy's playing at Liberty right now, and yeah, Conference Player of the Year or Conference Player of the Week, like Zach mentioned. I mean, I know we're excited as a staff to have him back, but I mean, just you guys to see, and Zach, I know you've seen him grow over the last few years and coming back for a third year with us. I guess just your excitement level to even have him as kind of maybe a leader for the Dock Spiders this summer. Maybe. Chuck,
I'm sorry, was that Chuck or me?
either one.
Yeah, I could take that. But yeah, I think it's great, and I think for me, I mean, I'm really looking forward to getting out there with the guys. But I think having sort of in the back pocket that we have guys like Aaron Anderson, because I was able to be there with Bull the first year, and I know the impact that he made just kind of in the culture. And I think that sort of was the beginning of that Fondy faithful culture. He texted me the other day, like, keep Fondy buzzing. He's been checking on the team and everything like that. So I think it's important to have that. I think especially in summer ball, guys that have experienced it and guys that have lived it, just to kind of keep perspective, because it is a long summer. So it's definitely valuable to have those guys. So we're really hoping we see them this summer, and then it's going to be exciting.
Zach, any other thoughts on Aaron? Or I know we got Sam hopefully coming back too. Has been for a number of years. Just on some of those returning guys and what it means for the team, even and being around Fondy already.
Right, phenomenal. To talk about those guys as people first is, you'd be amiss, right? Not to mention who they are as people, just phenomenal. Love to be around them day-to-day basis. Any conversation you get with those guys is awesome. From the baseball standpoint, it could be a win-win here for everybody. Potential for them to come back and just continue to build a legacy that they've created, but also to hopefully get a chance at professional baseball. So those are some guys that you may only see for a short period of time this summer as the draft gets going a little bit later this year. One moment I do remember about Aaron last year, right? Well, Sam, everybody thought Sam was going to get a hit every single time he stepped to bat, or every clutch situation Sam was up and almost came through. But Aaron, there was a moment in Ashwaubenon's dugout, and he was struggling a little bit in the beginning of the summer, coming off of no spring ball, and he was pressing a little bit, but he had a moment where he really challenged himself, and he knew we were going to lose some guys down the stretch to going back to school, and he wanted the challenge of putting the team on the back, and that's where he created that climb to get over 300 and ended even a lot stronger than that. So really excited just to see Aaron and Sam again, and work with them and talk with them.
Gotcha. And I guess Ryan, for you, I know Ryan Lotus coming back as well. He's been getting some high praise from some places around the country too. Just your thoughts on how he progressed last year and what do you think he could add, for the pitching staff for this year?
Yeah, I think him coming back, he's a guy that He's very he responds well to coaching. He responds well to teaching. He's accepting of all ideas. He's a very intelligent player, intelligent person. He wants to know the why behind everything. You don't just tell him to do something and he does it. He wants to know why is he doing this? Why is it going to benefit him? And players like that, they love to learn. And I have no doubt that over the fall and this spring and this season he's going to get better and better. And he had some dominant starts for us last year. He had one, I believe it was up in Ashwaubenon, where he went 5 innings, and I don't know if he gave up more than 3 hits, but I expect a lot more of that from him this coming year, and just another year of growth for him. I think he'll be that much better, and just the work he puts in off the field. Him and Aaron will be a very good example for the first year guys coming in, because those guys. Like Zach said, good humans first off, but they work their butt off the field too. Early work and extra hitting, extra throwing, anything they could do to get better when they're not playing that day, they do it. So guys notice that, and hopefully guys pick up on it, see that that's how you make a career out of this game. It's not just for fun anymore. You're trying to make a career out of this game.
And I know we've announced about 20, 25 guys so far that are going to be joining the team on social media so far. A couple of the guys that I just want to maybe throw a few names out there and just get your general thoughts then that we've kind of heard. But I guess the first name, that Jacob Gonzalez. I mean, just to me a true freshman that's starting shortstop for Ole Miss. Those words seem to be pretty impressive when those words all go together. And the way he started the season in Texas, and I guess he's all over Ole Miss's Twitter, and always in the middle of things. So I guess just get your guys' thoughts on we had our radio announcer Cade interviewed him this week and kind of got a little bit background on him, but just curious on your guys' thoughts of a true freshman who's walking into Ole Miss, who was ranked in the top 5 of the country, what he might bring to Fond du Lac. Chuck, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just hit everything that needed to be said. I mean, when you look at a true freshman kind of breaking in and starting at shortstop for sort of a perennial powerhouse such as Ole Miss, I mean, it says something about the type of player he is, and I think it also says something about maybe the maturity. I don't know him too well yet, but I'm excited to get to know him. I think he's going to bring a lot to Fondy, and I think even just seeing that little interview, I think it's been fun to kind of check in and watch those interviews, because you can pick up what kind of guys they are. And he just seems very cool, calm, collected. And I think that's what you need, especially in a long summer. I think there's probably going to be some learning curves as we go through. But I think that comes with the territory for everybody when you come out here for a long season. But I think the talent level is awesome, and it's going to be exciting to kind of watch him go about his business and to see what he can do to help us win games, and what we can do to help him kind of better his game and kind of take it to the next level, because I think that's been the exciting thing to see. I mean, you've had some really talented players come through here, and you just see them kind of blossom when they get back to school, and I think that's the exciting part. Like, it's awesome when we get to win out here, but I think it's really cool when you get to see them having the success at their schools and kind of going on to the next level and other things. So it's definitely going to be exciting to see him compete.
Yeah, and something that Chuck touched on is that two-way relationship, between us and the players, and working for each other. It's something we do well, and Gonzalez there, he's really excited to see him play, and this is a really deep roster, and we're going to do the best we can to keep him healthy and send him back better, right? Which may be, may seem difficult, but it's what the scouts want to see. They want to see, how your game transitions spring to summer and how you go about your business. So, somebody I'm really excited to see. And, unfortunately, Fond du Lac, hopefully we don't see him until after Omaha.
Very true. Very true. A couple other names. I know we've had a lot of Big Ten guys roll through here, in the last few years, and which has been great. And we've got a couple, and maybe Josh Spiegel from Penn State, Ryan Lasko from Rutgers, both guys that seem to be leading their teams in batting as freshmen, which again seem, as freshmen walking in and leading teams in batting average. That seems like a pretty solid start to their collegiate careers. Just curious on any notes on those guys, again, kind of having those Big Ten ties, which we've seen over the last 4 years, pretty good success here in Fond du Lac and some new schools, I guess, that we haven't really had here, but kind of keeping the Big Ten theme going, I'm guessing, Zach and Chuck?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the role Zach's in, he's been instrumental in kind of helping put together the roster. And we were definitely going to have that Big Ten tie. I think it just so happened to help that now there's a Big Ten tie in New Jersey. So we were able to hit that a little bit. Josh has been awesome. Been able to follow him. I mean, kind of when it happened, and I know he transferred from another school, and he was really looking forward to his opportunity that was coming up, and I think he hit it head on and really ran with it. And I think also kind of staying on the Penn State, Jay Harry's another one, broke through, really found some valuable time as a freshman, and I think it's pretty funny how it comes full circle. I mean, he's a New Jersey guy. He played baseball at the high school probably 10 minutes down the road from me, so I had the opportunity to see him through high school and grow. So had a little background on him, and the same with Ryan Lasco. I think we've heard really, really good reviews about the type of person he was, and that's kind of been the theme we've been talking about. But seeing him play high school ball, flying around center field, talking with his high school coach, it's just exciting to kind of have those kind of guys coming in to join us. I know I use that word excited, but again, it's just seeing how deep we are from top to bottom, pitching staff and even with our lineup. It really is exciting. Again, that comes back to that young talent that we're going to be able to mix in with that experience.
Gotcha. I guess kind of a question for Ryan on some of the pitchers, and I know probably Hairbaker Field is known here at Marion University probably as a pitcher's park. We're not hitting home runs. Do those guys when they roll in here, do they notice that right away, or Zach, are you telling them that before they get in here? Hey, like this is the kind of park you're playing in, or do we? I guess, or is that a surprise when they get here day one and they realize, hey, the advantage is probably a little bit more for the pitchers here in Fond du Lac?
It probably takes you notice it pretty much right away in batting practice that the ball isn't really going a whole lot, isn't going too far. So I think the pitchers see that and they realize that they might not have their best stuff that day, and they could just pitch to contact at that point. They don't have to always go for the strikeout. And I know last year we had some dudes in the outfield that could go and get the ball. We're gonna have that this year too, and in a field like that, having guys who could be pretty good with the glove go a long way, because it is a pitcher's park, and the ball dies in those gaps, and that's gonna be a benefit to us.
That is something we talk about with 4-year schools or 2-year schools that we recruit from, and just to explain to them what the situation is and how we build our roster too, to suit the park and all that. So it definitely comes up, but I think the most fun is when you see a visiting team come in for BP, and our guys like to stay out there for that one and really let them know, it's not in our house.
Yeah. I guess Chuck, to follow up on that, just from a philosophical standpoint, managing a team, and again, you have to play to your home park and where you are, but based on the players as well. But I guess just for all of our fans, and what's your kind of philosophy coming into this year? And again, from aggressive standpoint, how do you handle the players from just that philosophical overall standpoint?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I think from a on the field standpoint, we're going to be aggressive and we're going to look to set the tone. I think we've done, again, a good job of sort of putting together this roster where we have a lot of interchangeable parts, where if we do go on the road and we got to make some changes on the fly or some changes in the lineup to sort of play to that park, we could do that. And I definitely think we did a good job putting together that roster to be able to play together at Fondy. We got outfielders that can go get it. I think we got infielders that can pick it. We got guys that can steal bases. So again, I think it's fun to see what could be when it really comes down to it and it's all said and done in the lineups. But I think in terms of the philosophy of managing the players, I think it's just all about the relationships. And I think kind of having those summers with Zach taught me that, and learning how to manage that. I think sometimes we have to make some decisions that the player might not be too happy with, but it's protecting them, right? Like having that day off when they need a day off. Maybe you're struggling, you're in a little slump, and I don't know, I want to work out of it. Hey, let's take a day. Again, you might not be the favorite person in the moment, but getting to see them kind of break out of it is what it's about. And I think that's going to be the important thing in the summer. Knowing that it is a long summer, a lot of games, that's going to be the most important part. The mental health of it when it's all said and done. And I think the type of guys that I think we have coming into this roster, it's going to be fun to manage when it's all said and done.
Gotcha. I guess maybe it's Zach and Ryan. I mean, I'll start with Zach, but I just want to take you guys back like 7-8 months, and we win the championship August 22nd last year. Was there a time, Zach, that were you able to decompress? I mean, again, last year was this whirlwind of very different season, guys getting tested, COVID, different protocols than a normal year. After everything was settled, you're back into the fall ball. Were you able to just sit back for a second and kind of appreciate the toughness and everything that we went through last summer? I guess just your thoughts on how you reflected back on last year's run.
Yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster from the start of it, not knowing if you were going to have a season, and just every day you kind of had a different feel or opinion about it. So that took a toll on you, and it was just always a just looming thought of what else was going on around you. Just you tried to stay focused as best you could from the baseball side, but you couldn't help it to appreciate and try to respect everything else that was going around you. And honestly, nothing has really changed from that standpoint, because it's still the world that we're living in, and just trying to continue to be respectful to the situation. I know that there was just a huge sense of relief for me at the end of the season. Although it was a shorter season, it was one of the more stressful ones, just like I said, everything that goes into it. Just trying to protect the players, and from the beginning till the end. And leaving it, what's great about baseball is it is a season, right? And you gear up for something and you build up to it, and then there's a finality. And as much as I miss the players, it's always great to be done, to process it, to learn from it, and then start it all over again. And that's what you love about this sport. You play for something, and then you either get there or you don't. You learn from it, and that's on to the next.
Yeah, I think Zach used the word relief in there, where it's like we made it. We got through it, because there were times where, throughout the country, the cases were spiking, and we weren't sure if we were going to make it through a season. And the word relief comes in, and that's kind of how I felt. It was like, it's over, we won it. Then on my drive down to Arkansas, I kind of had time to reflect on it, and then when we got the rings in, I looked at the videos and some of the pictures, and you kind of don't realize how special a season was until you reminisce on things like that, because you're so in the moment during the season. And it's hard to appreciate what's going on when I think we had a 9, 7, 8, 9, 10 game winning streak or something like that. That kind of really set us off. And those are hard to appreciate, because you really do just take it one day at a time. And then when you look back on the season, it's like, wow, it's hard to do what we did. It doesn't happen often. And I'm glad I was a part of it. And like Zach said, you get to do it again in a few months. So that's the best part of it. We get to be right back up there and try to win another one.
Like I said, we got a couple of questions that came in offline here too. And I guess one of them was on, this is from Wayne, curious how COVID's impacts on collegiate baseball and how students have or have not been able to train, play, now that they're back this year. I guess, do you expect the quality of play to be any different than it was last summer with guys playing this spring? Any changes that you guys might foresee as opposed to when last year there was no spring season for these guys?
I can start it off there.
Yeah, go for it.
What you're going to see is you're still going to see really, really good baseball. Maybe not as old of players, this year in the league, but college baseball is saturated with talent right now. And it's going to be for the next couple of years as guys were granted another year of eligibility, right? And rosters got a little bit bigger. So you'll see some guys kind of extend careers a little bit longer, as well as other guys preserve that eligibility and use the summer as that opportunity to make up for lost time and to catch up on development and competing. So, anybody that gets to us in the summer, they're going to be excited to play. They're going to be excited to develop. And so that's why you're going to see talented players.
Yeah, and I'll just piggyback on what Charles was saying. I think you're definitely going to see, and I know I wasn't around to see the talent last summer, but just seeing some of the names that's on our roster, I couldn't imagine that some of the other teams aren't similar. So I definitely think it's going to be a very competitive summer. And I mean, for us and kind of at our level, and I coach at the Division III level, we saw a little bit in the beginning of the spring. I think hitters were a little bit ahead of pitchers, just because you might not be able to do as much with the whole COVID stuff. But I think now having that spring under your belt and being able to play, even if it might not be a full season, what they're used to, just to be able to get your feet in the ground and have that experience is going to be everything for these guys, because you already have your feet wet, and it's not going to be a shock to the system when you show up and you're playing every day. So I definitely think you're going to see some really, really good competition on the field this summer.
Yeah, and specifically from the pitching side, we came into last season and we really didn't know how much these guys have been throwing and what they've been doing. So we had to be more cautious than anything else with the pitchers. But this year, we know that the guys are coming off a spring season and they will have been throwing for a few months. And while they might take some downtime before they get up to Pondy, we know that they've at least have been doing something within the last few weeks. And that was kind of my worry coming into last season was they could say they've been throwing, but we really don't know what amount they've been doing. We don't really know to what extent, what volume. So that'll be a little bit, more reassuring coming in this year. And we're still always going to be cautious, but we don't have to quite worry about guys, saying, oh yeah, I've been throwing 80 pitches every 4 days when, they might have really only thrown 20 or 30 a week ago.
Sure. One other question that came in again was from Wayne. Said, curious how the new approach to minor league baseball with the Pioneer and Appalachian leagues now being summer wood bat leagues, how is it impacting the Northwoods League, especially talent recruitment, getting guys here to play on the Dock Spiders? How has that affected us putting the roster together this year and then maybe even in the future?
I'll take that one first. I mean, I don't think it's impacted us too much because I think what Sharp said before in terms of sort of college baseball just being saturated with talent, like it's out there. And I think that's what our sort of job is to do, is to try to get out there and find those guys. And I think you might need to maybe work a little bit harder at times, but there's talent out there. I think these other leagues, I guess, and other things that are going on, I think it's cool because you're able to kind of create some other opportunities. But I think on the sort of other end of it, it's creating opportunities here in this league for some really talented players that maybe didn't have that opportunity last time. So I think you're going to see maybe some names that you don't recognize and you're going to be like, wow, this guy's pretty good. And I think that's also something that I noticed my first year playing. Doesn't really matter where you play. I mean, if you're here, like we think you're here and you can play, and that's why you're here. And we see some guys from all different levels just dominate when they come out here. So I definitely think there is definitely probably a little effect, but I don't think we've seen too much of it on our end.
Yeah, it's just a continuing of using the resources and the relationships you have out there to continue to get players in this league that are a really good fit. Everybody what's great about the Northwoods League is everybody has talent, and there are no off nights. And no matter when you guys come to the park, whether you're coming to see Ashwaubenon's team play or Battle Creek, you're going to see good players, and that's not going to stop because of the product that the league produces, as well as what we do for the players here.
And then I guess Zach, another question for you that I know you brought this up before, but mentioning John Rhodes, you mentioned the draft. The draft is getting moved back this year, which is kind of a different dynamic that we haven't dealt with before. I guess are any guys as we start to as people are fans at Fond du Lac are watching guys on Twitter and their games that you could see looking forward to getting drafted in July when this comes up. John Rhodes is probably the name that you see the most, but any other guys that you think from the past couple of years that you might be thinking about that have that shot?
Yeah, there's just, we have so many guys right now that are doing really well in their seasons. It's awesome, right? I mean, Tim Elko is another guy, right? That is just, he's become a professional hitter in college baseball. So we got guys like him, and Kellen Sarver at Illinois. The pitchers that came from Iowa, like Drew Irvine, he's got a real shot, this year to get signed. Sam Nowitzki, Tanner Smith out at Oregon. There's just we've been so fortunate to have such good people and good talent here that you can see so many of those guys go. I mean, Parker Nolan's hitting, I think, in the 4-hole right now for Vanderbilt. Tim Kolick was off to a really good start. Unfortunately, broke his hamate bone and had surgery last week. So, thoughts are out to him and his recovery. But there's just good players throughout the country that I think that might break that record of what we had in 2018 for players get signed and drafted. So it's going to be a little different dynamic with the draft being shortened. So those guys that want that opportunity to sign as free agents, that's still going to be there for him. A guy like Aaron Anderson, he may get a check before he gets to Fondy. We'll see.
I hope he comes here. Hope he makes the Fondy. So, well, yeah, I guess we're kind of going to wrapping it up here. And but again, want to thank you guys for taking the time just to chat here for a little bit. And I know fans are excited. We're excited to get people back out of the ballpark and some bigger crowds. And get the Fondy faithful back and running. And I know you guys are excited to get back and get the team ready to go for 2020, 2021. So thanks again, Chuck, Zach, Ryan for jumping on today and being a part of this.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. See you guys soon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Looking forward to this year.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Talk soon.